Hi, my name is Chuck Giardina, and I recently got some questions in regards to basing techniques that I've used in the past and present, and what I plan on doing with the future. So, wanted to take this time to present some basing techniques, including styrofoam, casting, and resin that I've used in the past. And if you learn something from it, that's the only goal for this. So please enjoy, and if you have any comments, please post on YouTube, or www.wogcast.net, or like us on Facebook. Thank you very much. Again, we are out here in the garage of the gamer sanctuary that we have. It's a little cold out because it's the start of November, and just wanted to go over a couple things with the basic styrofoam cutter that we have. This is it right here. It may be a little dark, so we'll put some light on it. What we have here is standard 10-inch hot wire that cuts any type of styrofoam that you can find, including insulation and the bead ball type that they still commonly use with packing material or with a TV or anything that's really breakable. Of course, we'll go through a couple examples here and we'll get a close-up on that for you, and we'll go through that here shortly. Some things I do recommend, not to use standard Elmer's glue with trying to stick material to your base, including plastics or including plastics. Let me do that again. I don't recommend standard Elmer's glue for trying to adhere something to your styrofoam or plastics. We do have special types or harder bond agents. There's certain types of wood glue out there that it just has a better bond strength. I have had in the past sand fall off and some type of basing material, especially with all the movement you have with your regiment trays, things on display bases and boards. So I recommend getting the highest quality product that you can, even if it's another $1 or $2. In the long term, it's going to pan out a lot better for you. You're just going to have a better product, especially if you're going to use your Army for more than a year, taking it to multiple venues or tournaments, or even just local play at home. Alright, what we have here is an example of a work-in-progress display board, and I just wanted to show you real quick the two segments that we have in progress already. Now, this has been bonded with the wood glue on top and just generic sand that you can get from Menards, any type of hardware store, and you can see the 45-degree lines we have cut in the foam, and it's actually 3 pieces of foam. And as you can see here and here on the side, they've been glued and pinned together with toothpicks. Anything that'll slide right between the foam. So let's take this off to the side. This is a second piece we have for the actual display board, and it's prepped for the lengthwise cuts here, but also the cavern cuts, which you could do little cave sides into the side and put more candle lights inside. Similar to what we talked about with the actual 40mm bases a little bit earlier. And we'll throw that off to the side. And this is an example of a finished product, one board that I have used for my Orcs and Goblins. We'll go over real quick. These are just plastic pillars that you would get from a cake decorating store. 2 of those are on either side, and this is based with just a flat latex black, and then painted over with a gray, probably in I think 3 to 4 shades. One thing that I wish I would have done just a little bit better, you can kind of see the married line right here between the 2 pieces of foam. That's a difficult piece to match up, but it can be done. And we can go around and get a side view. If you're wondering what the frame is under here, it is just a picture frame flipped upside down, gotten at a dollar store. And that's a quick example of a display board. Alright, so I kind of set up a little demo here. What I have here are the 2 very most common types of styrofoam. This is kind of your bead ball, which you can see the little balls that have been melted into this 2 to 3 inch thick piece of styrofoam, and it has been cut out already for other types of terrain and such. This is something I did just the other day, and my son drew on it too. And that's kind of the beauty with this. You can use it in any condition because the rougher it is, the better textures you do receive out of it. So I went through and I did a 40mm layout, and I did a couple bases cut out of that, and to utilize for some mountain bases that we'll end up showing you here in a second. But I just wanted to give you kind of an idea of what each example is. We're going to pan over here to the side, get a close-up of the Styrofoam cutter. As you can see, there is that 8 to 10 inch hot wire right there. There are some guides so that you can use this plastic piece right in here to cut alongside of. One of the more common, or something that I found out from a friend, was this product here called Gorilla Glue. It bonds very well. It also foams when it dries so that it gets into the cracks. A little bit different than your standard super glue in that it bonds and gets in between the cracks. So if you have an uneven surface and you need to get inside, it'll do that for you better than the standard super glue, which seems to go into the cracks more and then just kind of get sticky real quick. So what I have done here recently is cut out 4 40mm bases, and I'm going to line up 4 GW ones here. Now these right now have basing material and flock on them, but what I'll end up doing with them is cleaning them off so that they're bare black, and I can glue a piece of cut styrofoam to the actual 40mm. So with what I have already cut out and traced, I have done a straight up and down cut, as you can see on the right side of the base, but on the left side and any outside edge, such as the corner up here on the top, I've actually cut a 45 to it. And you'll see how that reflects and gets painted on a little bit later. What I do like about these is that you can cut little caves in them, which you can see right there on the bottom. And that kind of gives it a more of a three-dimensional look. You can put skulls or rats coming out of that. Another idea, which I will demonstrate here for you too, you can cut holes in the 40mm, which I will again show you here in a little bit. But what I've done here is on some 40mm bases, and not these, you can actually cut the hole out in the center of the base up into the top. The caves then can act as kind of like a hole to that center. So you end up having, as you cut a hole out through the top, and I'll show you on another base better here in a little bit. And you can actually stick these little candle lights in there, which this one has been stripped down and blackened, but it ends up putting a light in the model. And this one doesn't want to work for me, but you can kind of see it flicker. It's cold, the battery might be low. But you end up getting the idea. What we do is we have that on the bottom. We stick our base through the wiring, and of course this would be cut down because this has been prepped for a chariot base, and then our cut styrofoam base fits on top, and we'll have lighted caves that will actually flicker like there is a fire underneath. So this is our station out in the garage. You can see there's been lots of cut things. We have thinner bases here, which could be used for a 50. This is a base set that I prepped for a 1x3 40mm regiment set, and they actually interconnect. So when I cut this out, I traced 3 of these bases together on top of the 40mm, or on top of the styrofoam. Then I proceeded to zigzag between the two. If I wanted to go a step further, I could do a little 45-degree angle all the way around on all 4 sides of the base. That would allow for the bases to still be Lego-ized, you could say, but still give a better definition between each 40mm base with that